have one like Kane Bale or Hector Fawley on his tail, but he can certainly have a say in how the race looks early.
Competitive betting race, Smithy, who have you got?
I've got my man Jihad Talji Scalacci. You like having the odd draws, and box number 1 in a race to find yourself in another Group 1 must be a good feeling.
Yeah, it is, mate. Just hopefully he steps and gets a clear run and can do his best, you know.
He stepped last week and then copped a fair bit of heat and managed finishing out the back of the ruck. How's he kind of come on? How's the recovery been this week?
Yeah, he's been good. It's just been a light work, you know, just on the walker and just one free gallop, so just kept him fresh.
Beautiful. Well, good luck. There's Talji with Scalacci. I'll weave my way back through here. Might try and grab Ian Cockrell as well. Ian, you could argue this boy's in career best form. He's absolutely flying at the moment. Do you think he can jump and be in there early?
We'll get our fingers crossed. You never know. See what happens.
Good luck to Ian Cockrell. I'll let them go. Jamie Ennis, just a quick word. My Magic Man, he's electric early. Can he get out in front?
Oh, it's probably his only hope at all, and if he can cause some trouble to the others coming across, but there's some very good dogs in this race.
There certainly is, and well done on getting launch code through earlier in the previous race. This is going to be an absolute ripper. I'm with Hector Fawley on top in this one. Just where he gets to at that first turn is the question mark with him, as we know, but his engine is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable, Smithy, and it's going to be vital that he settles in a good spot. We've seen him get clear rooms for the first part of the race over the past 2 weeks. He's gone on to get the job done, as we know he can do so well. Tonight, I think the circumstances are a little bit different around him. There's really good speed on his inside from the likes of Scalacci. If he gets it right, Exalted as well, and it's the outside My Magic Man. So he's going to be looking at backsides early, in my opinion, which means he needs to turn it on, which he can. I'm with Scalacci. I thought the way that he began in the 10 lead last week was encouraging. There's not going to be as much pressure early in this race. So from box 1, that's a good thing for him, and that's who I've got on top, Dan.
Equal favourites, Kane Bale, Hector Fawley, 320 each of 2. The final semi-final of the Australian Cup. Here's Dan Hibbard.
Set. Semi-final number 4 of the Australian Cup. The green light is turned on and the lure's on the roll. 4 and 5 equal favourites. They're set. Racing, slow Kane Bale. Hector Fawley began well. There's speed, My Magic Man hustling over. And Scalacci's driven through, then got a bump with Tangela Bale. It's got really messy, and My Magic Man found the lead and got away 2 lengths Scalacci. They're 4 in front of Fab's Vegetable. Next in the field was Kane Bale, and then came Hector Fawley. Well back Exalted and Tigalong Flyer. Leader was My Magic Man. Scalacci coming. Here comes Fab's Vegetable with a run. My Magic Man in front. My Magic Man won and beat Scalacci. Photo third. Fab's Vegetable and Kane Bale roared home late and may have pinched it, but it's close. Then came Hector Fawley. Further back to Exalted. Next in Tangela Bale, and one of the last to cross the line. It was one of the last with Tigalong Flyer. 30.01 the time.
30.01 the time, but the time does not matter. My Magic Man, very impressive, led from the start and throughout. There was a little bit of bunching up behind him, but that's what he needs. But that was a seriously nice performance.
Yeah, look, that's what everything, that happened needed to happen for him to win the race. The overall time with him, it doesn't matter. It's the early speed that counts. There's probably a few in the race next week who are wishing he didn't make the final because, he comes across hard to the fence, and if he does draw wide, you see what he did. He does cause a bit of interference doing that, but that's what won him the race tonight.
We'll start walking back to go give your boy a pat, but weirdly enough, do you think a wider draw suits because he can cause a little bit of carnage as he comes across with that early speed?
Yeah, I agree 100%. Obviously, if he draws inside, he's not impeding anyone's run directly to his outside. So for him to have probably any hope next week, I know it sounds awkward, but maybe a 5 or a 7 again to cause trouble to those inside dogs coming across. So, but in saying that, we wouldn't knock back drawing box 1. But for a young dog like this, he's only a young dog, and early in his career, we didn't quite know if he'd even run 450. So to coming into tonight, he was a grade 5 at the Meadows, and now he's in an Australian Cup final, so he's done a good job.
Well, I was going to ask, he's obviously not a fully furnished 500-metre dog as of yet. We see he's split down the back, 17.68. They don't go much quicker than that. Is there room for improvement in him, or do you think he's at his level where he is now for now, but he might improve moving forward?
Oh, look, over time, I think he'll just keep getting a little bit stronger and stronger. But at this stage, I can see him, just a sub-30 dog, but, he had dogs behind him tonight, like Scalacci up the back did look like beating him, and he dug deep and he stuck it out pretty well. So hopefully next week, similar scenario, he can find the front. If there's trouble behind, well, you never know your luck.
Well done, Jamie Ennis. You've also got launch code into the final next week. But just quickly a word on the team down in Tasmania that they'll be cheering nice and hard, the owners of this boy.
Yeah, look, I'm happy for Pat and his family. Obviously they've had dogs for a long time and they've had some really good dogs, and we're just lucky enough that they've let them send him over in our care, and he's been pretty good to us.
Well done, Jamie, and well done, Brooke Ennis as well. Phenomenal performance. My Magic Man gets the job done from Scalacci. It's going to be a great Australian Cup final next week.
Oh, it certainly will, Smithy. Great chat there. And with My Magic Man getting the job done, and the surprises keep coming, Patch, another double-figure winner.
Yeah, indeed. And there we see the head on, which is always a great way to review a race. And Hector Foley actually began okay. It was just he was burnt for speed, as we thought he might be. And he was on the back foot from there when he got shuffled back. So for My Magic Man, he was always going to go forward. Scalacci snuck up on the inside early. It was so important for him to get past him at that point of the race, because from here, he sort of fell on his lap a little bit and he sort of peaked on his run at the wrong time of the race, where My Magic Man kept kicking and kicking. And since he's been racing here at the Meadows, he's shown speed consistently. His overall time is the thing that hasn't been consistent, because he broke 30 in his first attempt. He went 30 and 13, which is about 3 lengths slower, and then he went 30 and 33 after that, returned to some sort of form last week, breaking 30. So he's not the fastest dog in this Australian Cup final, but as we just heard with Jamie and Corey, he's got that early pace to break it apart in some sort of manner early. So that's going to be his key. Smithy touched on the Ryan family. Pat is the listed owner here, but also his son Brendan Ryan, who's a prominent personality in the greyhound space and heavily passionate. He does a great job, Brendan, and they will be absolutely thrilled to bits to have an Australian Cup finalist. So all the best to them.
Good on you, Brendan. Fantastic win nonetheless. I take nothing away from My Magic